We have slight chances of severe weather over these next few days, but the big story continues to be heat, scorching in the southwest, which kills more people than any severe weather, and more flooding rains potentially in the northeast. So the rain has been a huge national story in the Northeast, flooding much of Pennsylvania, upstate New York, Vermont as well. Some areas seeing as much as a summer's worth of rainfall in a short period of time, and they're not done yet. It's been a crummy summer for the Northeast, wet and cooler than normal, and waves of moisture are going to continue to head that direction. The activity we're going to be talking about over the central U.S. is headed that way, same systems that'll produce several more inches of rainfall in areas that definitely don't need it, on top of saturated ground already. So flooding is going to continue to be a high risk and concern over the next several days for the Northeast. Of course, in the Southwest, it's the total opposite problem. Scorching heat, even for places that are used to heat. Places like Phoenix are looking at potentially a record streak here of 110-degree plus high temperatures. Since late June, they've been seeing that. This is just some insane heat, and the big question is going to be, where does this heat dome go next? Because it is still the middle of summer. We still have statistically the hottest few weeks of summer ahead of us here for much of the U.S. It's been a little cooler lately in the north central U.S., but the heat dome could be expanding that direction. Certainly will be moving east. It's a question of how far north and east does the heat dome expand late next week into the week after, but we could be looking at another heat wave for drought-stricken areas of the upper Midwest, which also got some needed rain, but some severe weather too. All these blue dots, severe wind gust reports from this MESOSCALE convective system, or ongoing MCS, developed as clusters of storms producing high winds, and then they merge into one convective system that can persist for hours or even a day sometimes. And this is ongoing across the Midwest, headed towards the Great Lakes. And that's the focus really for the severe weather threat today, is the remnants of that system and potentially more storms that could develop along the outflow areas of that. So an enhanced risk and a large area of slight risk for the whole central U.S. because of that system. High wind threat today because those storms are producing already ongoing winds. So a huge area that could be looking at those severe wind gusts over 60 miles an hour continuing, and as well as a lot of rain these systems produce. But here's looking at wind gusts with our rapid update models, and you can see ongoing winds and then some that redevelop here on the southern flank across Kansas into Missouri later today too. There is also the threat of hail. We are looking at a hatched area, which is a pretty high risk, 10-15% or greater risk, Kansas into western Missouri, of large hail with some of those storms again that could redevelop along the outflow south of that system. And then heading into Thursday, slight risk into Ohio. But the big story again is this front that is going to produce that slight risk is producing more rain that'll be tracking east here. Also a wind threat with those storms as we head into Thursday and Friday as well for the Northeast. So some nasty weather headed to the Northeast, but the big issue we're really worried about is rain with that. Slight risk continues on Friday, this time back in the plains across southern Kansas. But you notice all of these are kind of on that southern periphery as the north central U.S. stays cool for now.